And hello again, YouTube. It's 4:28 p.m. Thursday, March 3rd, 2022. I'm still on my way to pack in store. Last video cut off. Screen freak out again. Don't think it changed any settings on anything. It just looked like it's when I was waiting for the bus and checked out to see what the phone had did. It looked like it. And it seemed like it did the same thing yesterday. It looked like it just stopped recording video, switched to camera mode, and just took a shit ton of pictures, and then somewhere in the midst of it started playing with filters. But when I opened the camera again, it was back to the normal. Normal. I'm not one for taking pictures with filters at all. I mean, if I want a filter on my picture, I'll add it after I take the picture. But I just want all pictures to be just, normal, with a full range of color, and as realistic as whatever I'm using to take the picture of is capable of. Anyway, little bit worried right now because it is getting awfully near 5 o'clock. I just called U-Store. It went to the answering machine, and I checked to see when the next Van Buren bus is running, and that really puts me dangerously close to not getting there before 5, especially considering that the Van Buren bus at this end has a bad habit of not being on time when the app shows it is on time. Like I think when I checked it, it showed that it's on time. But what happens, and I know I've explained this before, is the route starts just to the east of here at the Phoenix Zoo. They camp out at the Phoenix Zoo before heading out, which I can think of several better places that the route could start, but it's a good place for bus service, and as I'm not a fan of buses just sitting camping waiting for the start of their route, but I mean, drivers got to pee. It is what it is, and I suppose they deserve as much of a break in their workday as everybody else. So there's that. But if the bus is gonna sit somewhere, like I've been very upset at times where I've seen buses sitting at a bus stop waiting until it's their time to leave, and they obstruct the whole bus stop, and it's resulted in the next bus coming, which it would actually pick me up before they were leaving, not seeing me and not having a place to stop, and just flying, and just going right by me, and me not getting the bus. So yeah, I really have a problem with that. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the vlog on the day it happened, but I certainly took pictures of it. I had a time that I was taking. I was on about 3 weeks ago. I'm thinking maybe 4 weeks ago, but it was definitely on a Thursday afternoon. Actually, come to think of it, might have been a Friday afternoon. But anyway, I was headed to Bullock's, and I was on a 50, headed to 24th Street to transfer to a 60, and it was one of those times where a not-in-service bus drove by me, and I looked at the app, and it was like, that's a 60. Oh, God, why not-in-service buses going where I'm going? Why can't those be in-service buses? Why can't those be running around? They're already driving down the street. They're already, why is that? If the bus is driving down the street anyway, why the fuck is that not part of the route? Why is the damage to the environment being done, the expenditure of a driver, and the mileage being put on the vehicle without providing service? That's the whole purpose of that vehicle existing. Anyway, it looks like half their screen is out. A nice day east of Phoenix Zoo, but the part that shows what the route it is blanked out. Very helpful. So anyway, I looked at the schedule, and I saw that this bus that was in front of me that passed, it was a not-in-service bus, had plenty of time like it was going to basically stop. It was basically going to stop at 24th Street and block the bus stop, westbound Camelback at 24th Street. It was preparing to block that stop, and was probably going to be sitting there for a while. So it was in a big hurry, not picking up passengers to get and obstruct that stop, which created a situation for the Route 50 that I was on that stopped not long after it got there, because that Route 60 bus, which at that point was still designated as not in service, was taking up the whole bus pullout. And the bus I was on did not have a safe place to pull over. Ended up pulling, and it had passengers getting off, other than just myself. And it stopped. It stopped ahead of the bus. Now there's landscaping there between the sidewalk and the curb, and it wasn't able to get right up against the curb because the curb kind of goes in at an angle from, at the end of the bus pullout. So basically it stopped, I want to say about 2 feet from the curb, in a spot where there's like bushes on the other side of the curb, not a sidewalk where you can easily step onto the bus. That's where the front door was. The back door was actually quite a ways from the curb, but at least I had plenty of sidewalk, or not sidewalk, but cement. I was stepping into the road, but I was stepping into a protected part of the road between the bus that was the soon-to-be 60 not-in-service bus that was sitting there camping out, and the driver. I took pictures. The driver's just sitting inside in one of the seats, not even in the driver's seat, sitting inside just playing with his cell phone. So completely oblivious to the fact that he's obstructing traffic and inconveniencing a massive amount of people in the world around him. Like his focus is his cell phone. So yeah, good show, driver. But yeah, I stepped out and I had at least a protected space to walk across the bit of street and to the sidewalk. It didn't have too much landscaping I had to try to climb over, but there was a gentleman, and admittedly the guy was probably drunk. The guy was drunk, he was riffraff, he's a bum, whatever, but still kind of entitled to a ride, if he had the fare for the bus. Wasn't really hurting anybody. Anyway, in attempting to get on the bus, because the bus was so far away from the in fact, I can kind of show you right here like what the situation was. Basically the front, like here's the bus pullout, back door of the bus would have probably been about like here, so this is what I was walking across, but the front door of the bus pretty much landed a little bit before the curb, where the curb switches directions right there. But instead of just straight dirt like there is here, there was bushes. So the guy's trying to walk across these bushes. His footing's not so good anyway. Trying to walk across the bushes and step over that gap between the curb and the front door of the bus. Loses his footing, falls backwards and cracks his skull on the curb, and just starts bleeding profusely out of his head. I took pictures of everything. I'm really squeamish, and maybe I should have offered more help than that. I'm really squeamish, and I'm kind of got a fear of touching other people's blood. Yeah, I wouldn't make it far in the medical profession. It was a kind of a struggle for me when I was a cab driver and did non-emergency medical transportation, but that is a separate tragedy. Anyway, I did call 911 for the guy. And apparently somebody had already called 911 and they'd been out there and they didn't help him, which I think is terrible. But I don't think his head was wounded to the degree it was from that fall whenever they came out there before. And I do believe that bus parking in an unsafe place, the one I got off that he was trying to get on, the Route 50, greatly contributed to that situation. And I'm not even blaming the driver of the 50. I feel the driver of the 50 was doing the best he could, because the driver of the 60 was obstructing the bus stop. And kind of blaming the driver of the 60. I mean, yeah, driver of the 60 is doing his job. Yeah, so were the Nazis in Nazi Germany that were running the oven. They were just doing their job, but maybe they should have stood up and said, this is not a job we should be doing. This is not right. And I don't see the drivers that are doing such dysfunctional things with the buses like that. It doesn't appear like they're saying anything to their higher-ups about, hey, we're blocking a bus stop when we're sitting there scheduled to camp out, and it's creating an unsafe situation for the passengers, and in many cases obstructing traffic. I think if enough drivers spoke out about it, maybe it'd get fixed. But I strongly put the blame on Valley Metro. I'm not even on the driver, on the contract operators, as I've said many times. The public transit in Phoenix is operated by private contractors. It's all privatized. But I'm not even putting it on the people operating the contracts. It's my understanding that those schedules are dictated to them by Valley Metro, and that the schedule in each individual municipality is dictated by that municipality. So this falls squarely on the city of Phoenix. This is straight up mismanagement of the city of Phoenix. This is something that should be fixed by the city manager, fixed by Mayor Kate. Imagine Mayor Kate fixing anything. Oh, I kid. But something really should be done, because the buses that just sit at a stop where they're an obstruction to other buses being able to see passengers waiting at that stop, or safely allow for the exit and picking up of passengers at that stop, and other ones that just simply sit and block a lane of traffic, both of those are problematic. And I got on this subject talking about why the Route 3 is often late, even when the app says it's not going to be late. And that's because it starts just a couple miles to the east of me at the Phoenix Zoo. And I guess where I was going to with this is that the Phoenix Zoo is one of the few places where the bus can sit and camp like that, and it's not an inconvenience to anybody. And provided the driver is not a total asshole and actually is letting anybody that approaches that bus get on it. And also, it bothers me that a lot of times when buses are sitting like that, they'll say not in service. It should really say, even if it doesn't leave for 10 minutes, it should really say what route it is and where it's going. So that people that are coming out of the zoo that might not be from here, that maybe took some other mode of transportation to the zoo that wasn't driving, like say they took an Uber or Lyft, or somebody gave them a ride, or maybe they went there in a different bus, I think the 56 goes up there, or maybe they rode an electric scooter up there. That's an option as well. Speaking of which, I saw a bird scooter this morning. It would have been handy to use it, and then I thought about how badly their customer service hosed me on that 5-mile-per-hour scooter that I explained in great detail what the problem was. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. Not getting any more of my money. And just kept on walking. It was a beautiful walk this morning anyway. To my landlord's, by my friend's place. That didn't see her, but I walked by her place, looked at her place. It was cool. And the walk from there to my home was nice as well. And I have done vlogs. I wasn't shooting video, obviously, but I have done vlogs on that. And more new grave plots going in. Always fun to look at the cemetery as I walk by it. I don't know why I enjoy cemeteries so much and walking by cemeteries, but I do. Anyway, the Route 3 heading this direction is problematic because the drivers have a bad habit of not leaving the zoo on time. Don't know what the fuck they're doing down there that precludes them from starting the route when they're supposed to start the route. I mean, I get it, everybody poops, but whatever, you know what time you gotta leave, pinch it off, wipe it, get on the bus, go. People are relying on you to get to places on time. Anyway, I've learned that I can't rely on this bus to get me where I'm going on time, so I'm walking, and pretty sure I'm in one of those situations where it's like faster to walk. So it's 4:43 p.m. Memory serves, the bus was supposed to get there at 4:44. Actually, I got my iPhone in my right hand, so I can check that. Yep, 4:44. It's showing it's on time though. And the bus is at... Sorry, I couldn't see it with the shaking of walking in my bad vision. It's at 48th Street. So, yeah, definitely turned out faster to walk, but as it turns out, I would have got here on time had I waited for the bus. But that's not a gamble I'm willing to take when my payment for my storage is online. And I think for a late fee, I'm charged, I want to say $10 per unit. I have 3. Oh, that's interesting. That bus says 41 West. I don't know what a 41 West is doing on this street. Super bizarre that it says 41 West and not in service. Look at my handy dandy transit app. See what's going on here. But for 41 West on Van Buren. So I still have extremely throttled data on my iPhone. And it's not showing that bus. Showing the one down in Washington, just a little bit south of me. I guess I'll never know what was up with that 41. So my immediate issue now is just hoping that Beth Ann is here. Or Bevan, my bad. Yeah, the last time I was trying to make a payment this close to time, it was, she wasn't there, but now she is there. So, yeah, got to handle business. Thanks for coming with On the Walk.